Hi, Dov here, and today we have a new episode in the Art Review series. And today we'll be checking out the work of Cherepov. Roman Cherepov. They do have an art station, so I will link this page in the description below. So it reminds me of one of the another artist we reviewed recently, Danila something. They also do a lot of like grayscale sketches. Um, and yeah, so this one for Roman here, Roman. They do a lot of like creature designs for the most part, very similar to like uh Anthony Jones maybe, because I know quite a or who's another guy who does like. Let me just pause the video quickly, very quickly. Oh yeah, I found another artist who I did review in this channel is Alex Palma. So they do also a lot of like grayscale like illustrations, sketches, or art, featuring these kind of like large creature-esque. They still have like humanoid forms, but they do have like a niche or a focus. And yeah, very realistic. The way it's rendered, heavy on the values, and I do think you do save a lot of time when you approach your work this way, just because you're focused more on like the design, the form, and you do illustrate that easily with lighting, uh, while skipping the colored parts. Let me just see if we can see a video or a process video. Also, they do it on Procreate in the iPad. Interesting. Reminds me a little bit of what's her name? She's like a Entel Ryu something. Because even though she does like 3D, like ZBrush sculptures, she does spend quite a like she will showcase a lot of her like iPad sketches. I think she also uses Procreate, and they do appear or they're done in grayscale. For her 3D stuff, like ZBrush types of models, she does add some color and stuff. But yeah, right. So it's pretty cool. This kind of process is interesting because you don't have to draw everything like tight in the beginning. You sort of find the form or the design as you like push through the painting, which can be unnerving a little bit, but I don't know. There's sort of like a surprise element in the end. Like you don't even know what's gonna happen. So yeah, it does give you. It makes you a little bit tense, but you know, it makes you feel good in the end when you do create something that's actually nice. But yeah. So they actually have quite or some colored stuff, but it's not the majority. I do think these, for example, this guy and this guy and maybe even this guy, but also this guy. I think they were colored in via gradient maps. I still don't have like a process that I use for myself when coloring grayscale stuff, but it is a typical standard process of approaching your artwork. Not everyone does it because when you do this approach, sometimes the colors will end up kind of muted, and so it's hard to find like a good balance where you can get that vibrancy, while separating your grayscale and like coloring process. But yeah, it looks very intricate too. Like they go in detail, right? Like it seems very intricate. You know, it's not. It does start out kind of big brush strokes, getting the big shapes out there, but as you push further through the sketch, or is it a sketch or the painting, it does become more Jesus refined. Um and yeah, I do like it. Look at that. The legs reminds me of this like microscopic sort of creature with the same like leg anatomy. It's like a bug, but it looks so freaking. It's like an alien if you look at it, but it's like a normal sort of really microscopic like creature. Pretty interesting. And if you look at the way they color, it's not even that complicated. It's usually like one color and then maybe one background to or one color in the background to kind of contrast like the main color of the creature slash character. So yeah, and I think with this, oh, it's a freaking chicken. Um, if you do things this way, I think you can pump out even way more ideas out or designs out. So if you just want to get some ideas out there, you can just skip the whole coloring phase because you can always go back anyway and color it. Um, I was watching a couple of gameplays. I don't really game, but I do watch like people who play games just because I want something to hear in the background. And there's a game, I think it's called Chicken something or Chicken Little or something. Basically, you're being chased by a giant freaking chicken. So it was kind of it looked kind of funny, but I thought it would have been nice if they made it more like monstrous because it was basically a real chicken, but just super big. So here we have a black and white, like an ink sort of sketch, right? But I think they do like their grayscale type. Oh, I do like this one. It's like a dragon. And yeah, once you know a little bit about human anatomy, you can sort of kill it in creature design. Because you can just play with, because a lot of creatures, they do have humanoid forms anyway. Four legs and stuff like that. So, like it's an easy transition. Freaky. Yeah, I do like this one. The colors too are pretty good. Are pretty good, right? And those hands look really nice too. Interesting. The shadows are darker, so it does give off that kind of high contrast look. Because if you look at their other like or recent grayscale stuff, is the contrast high? Okay, like there are some. Let me just show you. Like there are some parts where it does get really dark to the point where you can't even see like details within it. So I think this is something you should try and figure out or notice. For example, this part of the armpit where it gets really like dark. It does give off that ambient occlusion effect. Like the more you go into a corner, the darker it gets. This one's pretty insane. It almost looks like AI, right? If you're that good, basically it's because whenever you see like forms like this, where it's like form on top of other forms, it does get kind of crazy, but it looks good, right? Very interesting, and just the creativity of it, mixing different animals together, different kind of life forms. This one's more of like a spider chick. You can tell by the torso, but a humanoid version, right? Kind of odd, actually. This was like a. It looks kind of cute. Oh, I do love the hand here. Let me just show you. Can I click on this? Look at this. It's so like realistic. Damn. I mean, when you draw in like one color, or in this case, grayscale, like you have no choice but to really think about lighting. Because I think when you start using color really early in the beginning, you can get lost in deciding which colors work and thinking about that entire aspect. And sometimes you lose like the whether it looks legit or not, or like you're skipping the 3D aspect of things, which I think you have no choice but to focus on when you're doing grayscale types of sketches or paintings. Look at that. And yeah, I think you just have to, like, you can even skip like the human face a bit and just focus on the body. And that can take you a long way, because once you have like a good sort of mannequin for like the human anatomy, then you can just add in like a wolf head, play with the proportions. Oh, it reminds me of Vlad Ganelli. Although he doesn't do a lot of like grayscale stuff, he does like to add color in his work. And if he does like use one color, it's usually like a red or brown. He likes that natural esque look. And one of my favorite pieces from that guy or artist, Vlad, is it Vlad or Vlad Ganelli? Is I think is Romanian or something. I don't know. Is his Predator sketches or fan art? Looks really cool. And if you look at his work, they do or he does practice a lot of human figure drawing, human anatomy, and you will see it translate to his creature designs. They feel very realistic. So I think Roman here is really showing off their, well, not just their creativity, but their, it's, you will see their, how do you say it, their understanding of human anatomy. Even though they mix in a bunch of like wolves, fish, all sorts of like animals, even like vines, branches, rocks, or whatever. There's like a base there, that anatomical base that makes all of their creatures or characters look and feel alive. Right. So there you go. This one's like a bird, a Chad bird. I do like the chicken and the dragon. Where is it again? I like, oh, this one. This is kind of cool too. Although for a boar, I would expect the belly to be a lot larger just because, boars or pigs are associated with like a really big belly or something, but still cool. Yeah, the dragon is my favorite, and the chicken, the monster chicken. So yeah. So that's it for this art review of Roman Cherepov. Again, I will link this page in the description below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.